This is something I talk about a lot. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I recognize and I wouldn't say respect, but I can appreciate the skill and tact that he brings to turning his opponents and turning his trolls into weapons. He utilizes his trolls like ammunition by responding to them, by firing back and kind of flipping stuff on its head and gaslighting and trolling back. And when he does that, he has a level of wit and sharpness and humor that is able to rile people up and make people laugh. A lot of my fellow liberals, let's say, don't recognize what Trump's skills are. A lot of my fellow liberals are very much in their feelings, and I understand. I'm in my feelings too. Most of us are in our feelings, but to the extent to which they don't recognize what Trump's skills are / were that got him elected in the first place, and why people respond to him. And I say this a lot, where it's like, look, we live in 2021. The way to get elected and the way to achieve populism, the way to turn the tide, is no longer about taking the historical political high road. I think, you can sing a lot of praises and make a lot of criticisms of Hillary Clinton depending on who you are. I think one of the principal failures of her campaign versus Trump was chin up, taking the high road. Michelle Obama said, "They go low, we go high," but this wasn't that. This to me was a little bit of ignorance, meaning ignoring Trump, and ignorance and also not understanding the power and the fire that type of stuff can bring about in your voting base, and a little bit of arrogance on the part of Hillary, and not. So here's the point. What I say a lot is, without stooping to Trump's level or becoming Trump or becoming that type of person, how can his opponents or liberals use some of his tactics for the furtherance of themselves? And I'm not talking about trolling and gaslighting people. I'm talking about picking out specific internet opponents, maybe people tweeting abuse and hatred or whatever, or just something left or whatever it is at you. You can just use that as fodder to kick off a conversation. You can just flip the script on them. You're not trying to flip the script to humiliate them like Trump would do. You're not being a bitch about it. You're being a teacher about it. I think that's going to be more effective 2021 going forward versus chin up taking the high road, because like people's thoughts and lives and ideas and businesses exist on these platforms, and if you're not engaging on that level, then you're a baby boomer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get involved at that level. So that's how somebody who's media savvy like Trump is, he's very media savvy. He's a television star. Like, whether you like it or not, he was a television star. And that's a huge part of how he was able to get popular, but also how he was able to understand the hearts and minds of people and manipulate the fuck out of people to get elected. So what I'm saying is, how can liberals apply those same tactics? And they can do so by, having a troll team, having somebody who's like a trigger team, somebody on your team or multiple people on your team whose job it is to go seek out trollish, destructive, hateful, divisive behavior on the internet from random ass people, and using that prompt as a way to unite, in a way to lead, in a way to challenge or ask questions. It's that kind of thing. You got to get more media savvy. You can't be, and I mean, Obama was young and cool and everything, but he was just before the time in which he needed to engage on that level. The next cycle, the Hillary Trump cycle, you need to engage on that cycle. The next cycle, you definitely need to, and so forth and so on. So it's just a way to think. Understanding the tactics that conservatives and especially Trump often use, and this is like an axiom at this point, but Sean King has said it a bunch. It's liberals tend to be more outraged and conservatives tend to be more organized. There may be less outrage and more organized, while liberals are more outraged and less organized. you can make an argument about who's more outraged. Seems like everybody's outraged right now, but use your trolls as ammunition. You know, it's like a sitting opportunity for you. If you choose to just kind of ignore them and pretend they don't exist, that's a little bit ignorant. That's what I'm saying.